Welcome back. Random drug testing of peace officers. As we detailed earlier in our newscast, Bakersfield Police, they don't have it, and either does the Kern County Sheriff's Department. But there are departments that do use it, including one not too far away.
150-55, 1L70.
On the streets of downtown Los Angeles,
One Cycle 50, can I get a location for one cycling in 59, please?
veteran officer Daniel Gonzalez patrols LA's Garment District and the city's infamous Skid Row.
People engage in narcotic activity and drinking in public.
But aside from keeping the peace and protecting the public, there's something else Gonzalez does as part of his job. He participates in random drug testing.
No, it's not a big deal. And, only time someone should worry is if they're doing something illegal.
Of the LAPD's nearly 10,000 officers, 3,000 are randomly drug tested each year. One positive test for illegal narcotics, and you're fired. How important is it for the LAPD to have random drug testing?
Well, I think it's very important for us.
LAPD Commander Andrew Smith says he's been randomly drug tested at least a half dozen times in his 23-year career.
We've had random drug testing since I came in the academy in 1988, and I think it's important for a couple reasons. One, I think it prevents officers from getting involved in drugs. Maybe some people who are on the borderline who would otherwise, stray into doing illegal things like that. The other thing is it gives everybody in the city the confidence that our officers are clean and drug-free.
Whether on horseback, in a squad car, or on bike, at any time, 1/3 of LA's police force is randomly drug tested each year. How does it work?
Well, we'll call someone in from the field, have them come see the watch commander. They'll drive into the station, sit down with the watch commander, and they'll say, hey, the drug testing squad is here. Two guys will go in there, they'll go into the restroom and obtain a urine specimen, and that specimen gets tested and the results get sent back to Internal Affairs. 4 full-time officers are devoted solely to random drug testing. Veteran LAPD Sergeant Mitzi Fierro was one of the first officers in the department to be randomly selected.
The deterrence is the fact that people know they're going to be tested. And you want them tested because you want to know, as a police officer, I want to know the guy next to me is not on drugs.
But unfortunately, that may not always be the case. While the LAPD would not give us specific numbers, generally they acknowledge an average of 2 officers a year test positive. And in our research, we found at least one officer busted 2 years ago for allegedly selling $4,200 worth of meth to a federal informant. But the LAPD points out it's a relatively very small percentage when you take into account a police force of 10,000 officers.
Clearly, the vast majority of law enforcement officers aren't using illegal drugs.
Will Vizard is a criminal justice professor at Sacramento State University. He spent more than 2 decades as an agent in the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Why wouldn't a law enforcement agency have random drug testing?
I think historically, law enforcement management just assumed that drugs weren't a problem among police officers, and in general they haven't been. On the other hand, as demographics change, as new generations come in, as more people are exposed, inevitably it may increase. It has increased.
2012, Roger. Stand by.
LAPD officer Daniel Gonzalez puts it this way.
We want to have someone who's making intelligent, smart, quick decisions, that wouldn't put anybody in danger.
So what do you think about a department that doesn't have random drug testing?
I know there's nothing in the state of California that says they have to have drug testing, but I think for us, it sure makes us feel good to know that our officers are getting tested occasionally, and I think it makes the population or the community comfortable to know that their officers are being tested regularly.
Now, we also wanted to know how much it costs. Despite several attempts, the LAPD did not provide us with yearly costs for the random drug testing program. But we went further. We also asked our 4 Kern County state lawmakers if they would be in favor of random drug testing, and if so, would they be willing to carry a bill supporting it? And we asked Governor Brown's office for their response. To find out what they said or didn't say, go to our website, bakersfieldnow.com.